How's it going, everybody? This is Rob of Novakast back with some more of Onision's shitty book. This is chapter 16. We got 3 more chapters after this. Yippee. Alright, we're almost done. Okay. I was sitting in the nurse's office. I was visited by other students, some I barely knew, lost in thought, over what had happened beyond the comprehension of most of the people who were visiting me. I came to a realization: the power I have inside me. It has turned my entire world into whatever I desire. I am human despite the rock in my head. All I am is another person. I have selfish thoughts. I'm designed to forward my own species. I'm programmed to do whatever it takes to survive, and now I'm manipulating the world around me to make everyone love me. But that's wrong. There's war, then there's normal life. In war, you do whatever you can to continue your existence, but this perversion of reality itself, I don't want it anymore. David was smiling across the room from me. 2 pretty teachers with cleavage showing stood by waiting for me to address them at the entrance of the room. I looked at all of them and smiled. Something is about to change, I said. The teacher with larger breasts than most anyone I've seen replied, "What do you mean, cutie?" Wouldn't that be sexual harassment? Oh, you are so sick, dude. And click, just like that, their smiles faded. Both teachers were overcome with an expression of confusion, immediately left the room. David stood up, looked me in the eye, lifted his finger, and said, "I don't know what's going on, but I haven't liked you since elementary school. Stay away from me." He then proceeded to leaving the room. This felt better. This felt like real life. Walking out of the nurse's office, most students had already left. The buses were gone, but my mom was just pulling up outside of in her car. I hadn't smiled very much since she left Papa. He drank alcohol a lot. She didn't like his use of illegal drugs either. Oh my gosh, seriously. I know where he's going with that. At one point, he grabbed her and threw her against the wall, screamed at her. She finally decided to leave him, saying it was to protect us, but from what I recall, he was always nice to us. My sisters handled the divorce relatively well. My eldest seemed to care the least. We would all have relationship problems in our future, maybe as a result of our mother leading by example, maybe because of our genetics, or maybe because this is just the way humans are. Okay. My mother didn't talk to me much on the drive home. Something had changed in her, like it did everyone else. I was curious, so I chose to dive into her mind, silently sitting behind her. There was a negative circular narrative running through her head. She couldn't get over her eyes exploding all those years ago, reasonably so. She was thinking about me, how I was the one at fault, and she seemed to want nothing to do with me, despite the fact I was her own flesh and blood. I didn't dive into her mind further than her surface thoughts. I would go back to everyone liking me, to everyone smiling when I entered the room, but that is a fiction. It is a tanning bed instead of a beach. When I got home, it was more of the same. I was a freak to my family. I was only seeing it now as I had been in denial before, and because of the mutated black core in my brain, the world denied it with me. I was to call Julia tonight. She was expecting me, incredibly worried. My hand shook as I lifted the phone. On the other end, Julia answered almost instantly. "Hi, Daniel," she happily yelped into the phone. "Hi, Julia," I replied. "I miss you so much. I was thinking about you all day." She said genuinely. I was so happy to hear someone still like me, but maybe she only liked me because she didn't know about who I was. Without hesitating, I sent a wave of thoughts her way. They filled her mind, and she fell into complete silence. The abductions, the dead animals, the creatures I killed, my mother's eyes, she saw it all. I made sure of that. "Julia," I asked. Julia spoke softly. I just had so many. I interrupted her. "It's me, Julia. I can do anything I want, and I wanted you to know who I am." Julia went silent on the other line. After another moment, she asked, "You controlled all those people?" I answered, "Yes, I did. I've hurt people, I've seen and done things beyond this world." Now it was her turn to interrupt me. "Did you control me? Why am I the same?" After a brief pause, I said, "I don't know. I'm glad you still like me, though." Julia spoke up quickly. "Come see me." I'm pretty sure if he didn't even answer that. Were you controlling me? I'm pretty sure. I have to ask. If you found out that some scummy fucker was controlling your thoughts and whim, would you, immediately be like, "Come see me"? I wouldn't want anything to do with this individual. Setting down the phone, I walked over to my family sitting in the front room watching TV. They were living in a condo with 2 beds thanks to the divorce. "I'm going to leave for a while," I said. A tear fell down my mom's face, clearly still swamped with thoughts of before. She said, "You can't just leave when you want. You're 14. My middle sister added, "Maybe he should leave." Seconds later, the sliding door closed behind me. I kissed my dog goodbye, and just as I did, only without my body, I flew off into the air toward Ohio, where Julia was waiting. The trip to her took as long as I wanted it to be, which was about 15 minutes. I landed outside her window on her porch, trying to position myself in in a good lighting and pose she might think is cool. I spoke to her mind. "Julia, look outside." Julia walked up to her window in a towel as she had just gotten out of the shower. Her facial expressions was priceless. She was even more amazed when a human-sized hole formed in her wall, seemingly on its own. Walked towards her, grabbed her, and kissed her. I was so much taller than her. It was perfect. She went to kiss me back, wrapping her arms around me, which caused her towel to fall. I lifted her up, leaving the perfect hole in her wall behind me. I laid her on the bed. The next hour of my life was spent doing everything I wanted to do. I knew what she wanted. It fell in perfect line without any influence. A bullet passed through my neck and into her forehead.
What the fuck?
Okay, all I can say about this is, yeah, more and more you just show yourself to be a really creepy bastard. All right, 3 more chapters to go. I am so going to be happy when I finish this fucking book. Alright. Thank you all for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. This is Rob of Novakast signing off. Have a good one, and take care. Peace.